Good morning, grasshoppers. Diligent daily trading. Hopefully I'll be back in action with diligent daily trading and learning tomorrow. Tomorrow and perhaps next Tuesday. Oh man, I've been under the weather. I think I'm a little bit better. I'm not sure. Doesn't hurt to have some rest. How's everyone doing? Is everyone at work already, or is everyone home? I'm about to head to work. In fact, I was just reminded inadvertently. I don't know, Zoom changed its alert, but it reminded me an hour early to check my subway station time of departure. Normally it reminds me at 5:30 in the morning, but I realized that this morning it reminded me even earlier. Crazy. Where is everyone? We only have 2 players playing. Good luck, Nico. We need everyone in the main page in order to keep the tournament going. Good morning, Conta de Luna. How are you? We definitely have to get the voice channel contributions up for the stream so we can have Lorenzo and his amazing voice helping with the commentary on occasion. Are we ready yet? Oh, I'm not playing Conta de Luna just yet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm trying to think of what time zone Conta de Luna is in. I definitely believe it's at least afternoon for him. Going through the Informator. Lovely books, by the way. Most recent lovely book. Let me ask you, do you know? It's a quick review of a lot of pawn and essential endgames that need to be known. Do we really have a 2 knights variation on our hands here? The best second move in that position is easily d4. But now there's no way to attack the pawn on d5. If you really want to attack something that is worth less than what you're capturing it with, you actually need to use a pawn. So for example, now that this pawn cannot be defended by another pawn, it could become a potential target. Black always has e6 as an option here for the most part. And of course there was a nice trick in that position. Bishop g4 is by far from the best move, by the way. White actually could have played knight to e5 there. It would have been very, very embarrassing for me, because I would have had to retreat my bishop. Actually, maybe I could capture the knight. Would that be enough? Pawn takes. I'm hallucinating. Only if I try to capture the knight would it be dangerous. Because after pawn takes, I cannot leave this diagonal because I'd be losing my queen. What am I thinking? Definitely need to work on my visualization skills, that's for certain. See if we can keep it going. Keep the hallucination going. We're not getting anywhere without attacking or defending this pawn. That much is true. Without stopping his attack on this pawn. Now what? my opponent is losing time with the queen. This is the third move with the queen in the opening. Even though I started moving as the second player to start on this chessboard, I only have two moves to finish the opening. They have 3 moves to finish the opening, bringing out the bishop and castler. And of course, I was also counting the queen. Am I concerned about the bishop pin? Not really. They're going to have to invest a pin. They're going to have to invest a piece. There doesn't seem to be anything protecting that knight, or if there is, perhaps we can leave it a little bit in the lurch here. We'll keep bearing down on that just a wee bit. Notice that black's rooks are now connected. Because black's rooks are now connected, the opening phase of the game certainly is over. Oh, well, that's a very clever move. But we have more where that came from. Possible I also could have hassled the queen with the bishop, but I also wouldn't mind having the f-file. Now, does the queen have any squares? That's the question. I can probably keep pushing. But then the queen will have g4 at some point. So should we play bishop e7 first and then f4? Perhaps. Let's just play bishop e7 first. I have no intention of taking that knight. Not at the moment. Uh-oh. Good thing my queen is guarded. Otherwise, bishop takes e4, threatening mate on h7. Could be a little bit of a bummer. Could be a little bit of a pain in the tuchus. Always have to keep an eye out for what your opponent's pieces are up to. Yes. Let's see if they are paying attention both ways, or if they're listening to the stream. But now they have 2 pieces hanging. Bishop takes, to me, was the only option first, because the queen is hanging. Bishop, bishop are all hanging. So the trading is forced. And I believe I'm going to get a little bit more than one could bargain for here, because we want to just capture 2 pawns in a row. I don't really want to lose that particular pawn. It's such a lovely pawn. We'll give it the old heave-ho on the doubling. What? He's attempting to do that to me. It's craziness. Fine. Keep it up, buddy. Just keep it up. We've got more counterattacks than you have counterattacks. I reserve the right to defend this pawn at any time. Interesting. Let's do a little bit of calculation. So if rook takes e6, f takes e6, rook to c8, bishop to c3, b5. Threatening b4 wins. We get to keep our very powerful pawn on the 7th rank. Now, can we back it up? Or should we just threaten to threaten this one? Am I going to be able to? There's a small calculation error there. That might end the game, I'm afraid. Might end the game. Might end the game. Might. How much fun can we have? My opponent offers a draw. What kind of craziness is this? How do we lock down on this center just a little bit more? Now he does have a square. For his king, but it's unfortunate that it's important that his only move be king to h3, so we just have rook h1 mate. So let's see what happened in this opening. Just for a moment, I just wanted to see. Learn from your mistakes. I don't think I have any mistakes just yet. The analysis engine hasn't really finished this. Vic, Vivian, how are you? Was that you, Mr. Blended In? Conte de Luna, that green badge goes very well with your, hey, good morning, Lauren, how are you? What an awesome day. I cannot tell you how much cheer and or enthusiasm it brings me to see the regulars in the chat, even if they're not able to chat. I'm going to ask permission for, if I see you in the chat, is it okay if I say hello first? Because every now and then I check to see. You'll notice that my chat has very few users in it because I eliminated all the bots that you find in Rogan's stream and others. I don't know what those bots are collecting as far as data, right, Nico? I don't know what kind of data those bots collect. Aten, lurks, anybody who has a link to a generic video who has several thousand followers. The reason why those bots have several thousand followers are because streamers often follow back. And I did this for the first 1,200 follows as well. I followed everybody back and then I found out I couldn't follow anymore. So I was out of luck. So in this particular position, I guess bishop to g4 was fine. I'm just going to go on the very superficial analysis engine bit that is there. So bishop e3 is clearly the worst move in this position. And I have been here before because I've even been here before with knight f6 and c4 being in. That position, it's also rather sad to play bishop e3. In Foxwoods 2007. I definitely have to do all of those games. I think I'm going to have to do my memorable tournaments rather than my memorable games, because there's just way too many. So I wasn't supposed to play Just bishop e7, preparing the hit on the queen, huh? I guess so. But my opponent reacted so poorly. My plan was to force c3, leave this knight in limbo, and then play bishop to e7. So that the knight would have to return to a3. And capturing it by the bishop would weaken c3. It would also keep him from castling on the queen side. Let's see what happens here. Knight to c3 is a question mark. And they do look at my plan. This was my plan. Black is clearly better in this position. Oh god, obviously not as much better as they wanted me to be. So therefore, knight to c3. Knight e4 is a little ambitious. f5. Again? Yeah, bishop e7, which I noticed a little bit. I prioritized it a little bit too late. I did look at it, as I said in the stream. I looked at knight takes c3, f5, bishop e7, but of all of them, I like to hold the center. I really like to hold the center. So now what could possibly go wrong? It looks like white castled. And they're assuming that I should follow up with my plan of grabbing material, because computers are very materialistic, right? Nice. Very nice, Lauren. Very nice. But that's something that's been internalized by myself for some time. I actually wonder if it wasn't my coach going through Practical Chess Endgames by Paul Keres that helped me, because I know I did do that. There's a very big difference between a very small Practical Chess Endgames book that gets you through the endgames and exposes you to it, and Silman's massive tome, massive tome with a lot of words. I'm actually slightly less of a Silman fan, and in some ways, after our discussion, than I was before. Welcome to my world. I only get 4 hours of sleep on average every day before this stream. And I don't know why I do this to myself. So now it's suggesting my plan was rook to f5. Keep the pressure on here. This is where I wanted to really head, with ideas of playing h5, rook to g5, the other rook over. This is important. Coffee. I disagree with you that you'll be dead. That's one of those rhetorical phrases that may make it true, but you have 2 sleep cycles in those 8 hours, and when you wake up at 6 or 6.5 or 5.5, you are dead. If you wake up at 3.5 or 4.5, you are dead. But if you wake up after 4, when your body, as I understand it, naturally wakes up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, that is the completion of your first sleep cycle. So that's when you could actually wake up and stay up. If you actually got up to go to the kitchen for a quick midnight snack and then go back to sleep, believe it or not, you could actually stay up. Yeah, it works in 2 sleep cycles that are not exactly 4 hours. But if you look at the clock every time you find, I would say drink a large glass or 2 of water before you go to bed. And the only time your body can get the message to you that you need to go to the bathroom is during that 4-hour break. So when the sleep cycle breaks from 1, it completes a complete sleep cycle. Then you have a second sleep cycle of 4 hours or 4.25 hours, whatever your cycle happens to be. When your body breaks, then you know where your sleep cycle ends. So you have to sleep in a sleep cycle. Therefore, often you believe that you need to get 8, absolutely 8, which is ideal. Ideal is 8, but not everybody can do it. A lot of high-profile people work on.
Here we go.
Right, I can imagine learning chess. I can imagine that if you have Alzheimer's, that may or may not affect your body's ability to regulate itself. I had never thought about Alzheimer's affecting the sleep cycle. So it's good to probably know what your sleep cycle is with the 2 glass of water experiment well in advance. So I chose the wrong rook. Indeed I did. I chose the wrong rook. The real reason why I chose the wrong rook is that in this position here, a little bit later on, when I play b5, a3, if I play a5, they could just capture. Had I avoided all of the previous rigmarole, I would have been okay. And I was considering in this position, I did consider bishop takes a3, but I didn't think that it would mount to anything. Therefore, in for a penny, in for a pound. My plan was to go after the b2. Well, my plan was to go after the b2 pawn while the bishop can't defend it. So on bishop takes a5. I did consider breaking up the Yankees with f3, but I thought it could wait until later. Oh no, I self-pinned myself. NG. That's not good. No good at all.
Invincible.
Wow, my plan was very faulty. Very, very faulty. But you should definitely do the, and they forget to drink too, exactly. You have a lot of experience with that, it seems. Alright, I don't know if we have time for one more. Let's hope that we have time for one more. I apologize to the viewers. I think we are going to have to switch this tournament to 3 plus 5. Or do we go back to 3 plus 2? 3 plus 2. After all, Morning Blitz is really only meant to get a lot of games in. It's the wait time between games is too crushing. 3 plus 1 would be the chess standard. Ah, 3 plus 3, Learning Chess says. If I put up a 10-day poll, so Lauren, I also was listening to another one of my favorite podcasts this morning about rigorous training. Self-defense and martial arts was the subject. And they also mentioned that the brain does strange things, such strange things under pressure or in the fight or flight response, that it helps to always trade as much as you can when your life does not depend upon it. Always train under as much pressure as you can in order to be ready for that time when you do need to think under pressure. I think the phrase was, calm can be contagious. If you can maintain calm, you can keep calm under all circumstances. But you have to practice it under pressure. Calm is contagious, but panic gets you checkmated, is my paraphrase. Calm is contagious, but panic can get you checkmated. The thing I don't like about Blitz, the panickiness of Bullet. So therefore, since it does not affect your real rating, and I would use the term real rating very loosely, it would help if you were to train regularly under circumstances that allow you to feel the pressure without actually having to risk, let's just say, the rating that you believe is going to reflect your progress the most. The other thing about playing regularly, everyone, it does encourage instant moving. However, I do believe that Bullet can be used for several different good purposes. One is, if you're going to take mastering the opening principles seriously, all right, we got a second game. What do I want to do with Contra de Luna? I'm going this way. I know he hasn't been playing, he has not been playing. Where are you going, sir? I love the fact that your queen is out, though. It really does warm my heart. It warms my heart to no end, knowing that your queen is out there. And do we wish to go into the endgame with him having an isolated pawn on the H-file? Looks like we can get ahead in development this way. Uh-oh. We knew that was going to happen, right? Being under the weather. So now his knight is going to be offside, so we can grab space twice, right? So we will take advantage of this opportunity to grab space twice. Do I wish to grab space the rest of the way? We can use our white squared bishop on the long diagonal. Let's see where he plans on going. I'm not sure if this was very well thought out. But we will see. So he does get to have a center pawn. But let us see if we can keep weakening these pawns. Always trying to gain time. Keeping up the pressure. Now, can this piece move? I don't know. Maybe I could have done this last move. We're just going to keep up the pressure on the b7 pawn. and the e6 pawn. Now knight takes e6, rook takes b7. Well, that looks like another freebie, unfortunately.
Check. Victory.
Gracias, Conte de Luna. Grazie, grazie. I appreciate you making the effort to try to get me on the podium, but you didn't really need to do that. We could have finished after the fact. I do like that it is included in the tournament table. But what was going on with that opening? Panic does make you play bad move. Panic can get you checkmated. Calm is contagious. But I do believe in playing under. And of course, Conte de Luna has been ruling the roost in these slow games. I think because most people I did get you yesterday as well. A little late though in the stream because I had to answer questions. I don't remember what we were talking about. Am I the only person streaming this morning? Where is everybody? I believe Rogan's back at work. SLK Chess. I did not give him enough credit, nor did I give him the raid. I hope he's okay. Kingslayer Sloan could be streaming, but he just might not be streaming here. Let's see what we can do, everyone. So I'm going to put out a Twitter notification, by the way. I'm going to start doing Twitter notifications for the World Champions. Please follow on the socials for the poll, the Twitter poll. Basically, I'm going to be doing Twitter because I believe it's more serious than Instagram. Instagram may reach more people, but I believe that those same people cater to the bullet crowd, the social, the super social network of the Instagram superficial. I only want to see images. I don't want to read, right? Instagram, as my daughter put it, is Twitter for those who can't read. After all, a picture says 1,000 words, and you're limited to 140. Oh, Vion! Hold on, let's check your games here. But why did you berserk so much, Vion? Why did you berserk so much? Let's take a quick peek here at Conte de Luna's game. Your game versus Conte de Luna. So already this is a little bit of a mistake because you're not actually going to be able to assist in e5. You're just not. Bishop to b5 by Conte de Luna will shut you down, and white is clearly better in this position, honestly. So you can't play knight to c6. This doesn't happen. As it says up here, bishop to b5 gives white the microscopic of microscopic edges. And of course, if you value the bishop pair, this is like a reverse Nimzo Indian now. And your knight is on f3, and this is not thought to be that great, that wonderful. Only after black castles is the idea of playing bishop to g4 good. I'm sorry, only after white castles, because I'm thinking about it in terms of, so what can we do in this position? Queen to c7. It says bishop d7, which is rather silly. Because after castles, we no longer have the option of wasting a tempo with bishop to g4, because we just don't. So if we were able to play g6 in the last position, possibly g6 was still a good move then. It's tricky. In any event, let's see how the game progressed. Again, if you are going to put your bishop on this diagonal, I know you're aiming at it Conte de Luna's setup. You're definitely familiar with this Yusupov Zukertort Coley system. Nicely done. So by the way, Vivian, you can actually achieve the same thing, weakening his king side over here, because you're just going to put your bishop on this diagonal anyway. Let's just compare this to what actually happened in the game. Let's just say that white plays bishop to d3, e6, castles, right? And I'm trying to think of what actually happened in your game. You played bishop d6, which may or may not have lost the tempo to d takes c5. I'm just trying to get you to castle it. And then white wanted to play knight e5. All right, I'm going to stop here for the moment before knight e5. Both sides have castled in your game. But in this particular position, notice that there are no weaknesses on this side of the board with h5 and g4 that would drive the bishop back. With their knight there, he would not be getting knight e5 on the next move, and white is not doing well. So apparently bishop takes c6. I just learned something here. I have to come to the root of what am I missing? Oh, I don't blame you for not having any social media. Is third place good? This is something for you to decide. This is not a question for me. When I'm playing in the Offerspiel events, and there are a lot of 2,400 players and players much stronger than me, for me, third place is totally awesome. I am so much in love with third place. It's entirely up to you. But Lauren, zero social media. I don't even know if I could recommend one that's not social media that would be okay. That's the problem, right? Chat. Crazy. Yeah, none at all. I would say for a craft maker, Pinterest might be useful. I would say for a craft maker, Pinterest might be useful. Yeah, Pinterest pins images of art by subject and category. So therefore, if you had a career, or if you were an artist who needed to deal with imagery, creating objects. Yeah, I grew up. I definitely grew out of Facebook in the past so many years. So in this particular position, f6 is going to weaken your king side immensely. You cannot play f6 anymore. Notice that at this particular position, it would have been nicer to have his king side weakened, so that way you'll have something to go for with f6. It appears that you have to play bishop takes d3 first. And only after knight takes d3 might you play a move like f6. Honestly, f6 in this position leads to equality, right? Computer did not have f6 in its top 5 moves. Because it leads to equality. They think you're better in all of these cases. This pawn is under pressure. And you're better in this position. So you're all good, Vivian. You gave up your weaknesses over here and you're getting mated. You're literally almost getting mated. Wait, you only had one move to stop ongoing devastation. You had to play queen e8 to control that square, because if you don't, the mating net has arrived. Bishop h7, bishop g6. Oh, yeah, bishop h7, bishop g6, and queen h7, which is not easy to see. So you try to stymie it. Personally, I might go for rook f3 as well. Is our queen trapped after rook f3? White still has the advantage, because this threat is very strong, as well as this threat. knight f3, obvious threats. Rook f7, maybe rook f7, yes. Yeah, rook f7, knight g5. The move you're missing here, Vivon, is that one. Hold on, I have to check my train. Got it. Good. Got it. Good. So at any event, you just missed the last concept because your queen can't get in, right? Your queen cannot get into the mix in this particular position. Everything appears to be falling. And we're out of time. No, I mean we're out of time in the stream. Good work, Conte de Luna. I think you played pretty well, but you need a little bit more activity. And you have to analyze your games very deeply, Vivon. Absolutely, Lauren. Thank you for being here. Are we rocking and rolling or what? Or what? I'm going to give you to the person with the absolute most viewers that I can find, who warms my heart at the same time, Jessie February. She will almost always recognize us. South African streamer alert. Be wary. South African streamer on the warpath. Please be wary. Everyone, have a great day. Thank you for being here. Can't get all 8 to go to Jessie February. Does everybody want to go to Zalakai instead? I just realized that he's streaming this too as I'm scrolling down. Might be too late. In any event. Have a great, they are all great. Jessie February tries her best. My only criteria is that they try their best. Right? Like for me, the throwaway rating, Lauren, by the way, is anything on chess.com. Because I really could care less about what my rating is on chess.com. But other people seem to. But honestly, it's my rapid rating on Lee Chess that I tend to take a little bit more pride in. It's like the rating that I train all week for, and then on the weekends we play rapid. You know, we train, practice under pressure as much as we can all week long, and then on the weekends we play rapid. We're in business. Cheers, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for being here. Nico. Yeah, I'm a little under the weather. Conte de Luna. So awesome to see you, buddy. We are going to have Jeff. Jeff didn't say anything this stream.